Well, let's see what some of those other political parties think about NIM's plan to push them out of the scene, relegating them to the background. Mark?
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. We have with us in the studio this morning two very interesting people. Dr. Eunice Tanko is the national chairman of the National Conscience Party. And we also have with us a lovely young woman, Indi Kato, who is a member of the People's Democratic Party and also co-founder of and board member of the Young Women in Politics Forum. You're welcome to our studios in Abuja. Welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
So let us first of all start with you. Let me start with you, Indi. What do you make of this third force? You have chosen to join the People's Democratic Party, yes, which is the major party in opposition. Yes. Do you see the third force as a threat?
Not really. I think that over the years we've had third forces come up, and this is a particular period in Nigeria where we actually have more than one third force. So we're asking which of the top forces here, and I don't think so. I just see it as something that will take away from what we're trying to achieve in 2019. And I believe that the collective of these parties all want to achieve one thing. And if we keep taking away from the biggest structure that can get that achieved, I don't think we're going anywhere.
Well, what do you think of that? You have been in the NCP, you've chaired the NCP for a while. You're yet to take any prominence in terms of the seats that you have won. Do you see the third force as a veritable platform for you to join, or do you think that they're just making a lot of noise? They don't understand what the challenges are.
We are supporters of multi-party democratic system. Third force, fourth force, fifth force, any force.
So the more the merrier for you?
Yes, it is. Because it has proven time. If not for the way we started, when we argued the issues as regard to multi-party democratic system, we wouldn't have assisted the PDP in the last election. It was out of this particular conglomerate of the multi-party system that brought out the APC, which is, of course, the coming together of AMPP, new PDP, and CPP, CPP, and the rest of them. CPC.
Some people will argue that what that makes, or what that says, is that you need two major parties, two strong parties.
No, the NCP believes strongly on the multi-political party system because it gives times for robustness and quality chances for people who cannot be gagged in certain political parties. Look at the way these two parties are. They are almost bursting. They are almost busting because in the moment you have only two political parties, what you will have is an implosion. People will not be able to actually ventilate their own interests. With the 68 political parties, and that's why we are arguing on this particular sequence of elections. The way it is being skewed to the interest of whoever is in position to gag others.
We will come to sequence of elections in a moment.
And those are some of the reasons why we support this particular idea. You have multi-party system where people, different strata, different ideology, fresh ideas can come in and contest elections and then win election at the end of it all.
Ms. Kato, I want to come in here because, you know, when Nigerians look at kind of the two-party system that we've been operating since the emergence of APC, they say, well, look, the lack of innovation brings up stagnation, both economically and politically. And that if you have, just two parties where you have elites vacillating between the two parties, you're not going to have any new ideas. What are your thoughts on that? And what do you think the PDP can do in terms of working with some of these other parties if they want to reclaim power?
The PDP, as I know it, we're not pushing for a two-party system. But we're also looking at, this is 2019. This is the task ahead of us. And what we're willing to do, this is a party that's willing to merge and absorb these other people. So we're not saying that, no, it has to be two parties. But we're also calling for, look, we can work together to get this thing. So 68 parties exist already. Since Ganifa, when we pushed for this in 2002, we have as much parties.
Some of your top chieftains, though, have been publicly calling for a two-party system. That is, in fact, even General Babangida, one of the founding fathers of your party, has been calling for a two-party. Is fighting each other.
Again, I do believe, and this is what we have been talking about, that in the coming elections, which parties have the most structure? Well, we're not saying other parties do not have the right to run. We're also looking at what is feasible for 2019. If you're setting up structures now, 2019, the elections are a year or less than away. Those structures, how much capacity do you have to cover the nation? But there is an opposition party right now that has this structure, has this on ground, and is willing to work with others. So I think that there was a probably misconstrued. What we mean is, look, this structure is on ground. This party is with the most capacity to get this done now. Wouldn't you rather come with us?
Within your party, we've seen some dissenting voices emerge in recent days. Of course, we saw Professor Tunde Adeniran, Jerry Ghana leave, but then just yesterday, the former minister of Niger Delta, Gazde Rubebe, came out and said that, look, the lack of internal democracy within the PDP is going to kill it. When you look at what happened at the convention with the unity list, etc., what are your thoughts on what the party can do in terms of earning the confidence of Nigerians that they have changed their ways?
I think that in the first place, you know, someone like me sitting here representing the party is a good thing for the PDP. Shows that there's been a new injection of people into the system. I also think that, you know, PDP is a family that I've come to know over the years, and there are bound to be disagreements within this system. Not everybody will be happy with the results. I mean, this is what democracy is about. Someone has to win, and someone winning means another person will lose. You definitely have people who voice their discomfort with what has happened. But at the same time, I do not think that that means that PDP lacks internal democracy. I think that coming from where we're coming from, we've actually made a lot of progress. There's been committee after committee. We've had, you know, our reconciliation committees, and we've come together to get these things done. Are we perfect at this point? I won't say yes, but in terms of growing and learning lessons from when we were in power and now, I think PDP has grown tremendously. Like I said, there will be people that will be dissatisfied with what has happened, but that does not mean that the party is disintegrating.
So let me ask you then, Mr. Yunusa, do you think that these smaller parties, because that's what I'm